Hello there everybody, and thanks for tuning in. So I am going to talk today about accepting responsibility. Accepting responsibility as a starseed. I'll just take a minute to feel that. Yeah, because what does it mean? What does it mean to accept, to embrace and to enact the responsibilities as a starseed, as a being who has something to share with the world that they know is of great benefit to the reality and to the people, to the place, to the environment, and to everything. It's such an extraordinary time that we're in, because it is literally the end of ages, and ages have parameters and ways of functioning. It's time for humanity, emergent, homo luminous, us people here, to remember who we are in the grander scheme of things. Just perfectly natural stage of evolution to connect with who we are on a galactic level and on a cosmic level and on a universal level. Perfectly normal functionality in just banged the computer there. Perfectly normal functionality in the age and the time that we are entering, which is a time of remembering our multi-dimensional nature, our natural beingness, which for me is all about integration, integrating all my experiences, and so the fractal that I am can grow, and I am certainly feeling the push. And it's the push of evolution. It is, encouraging, often can feel demanding, but it's encouraging and embracing and loving the evolutionary process forward. I'm aware, and been aware for a very long time, that us as a people, so us, humanity, I've been aware that we are being born. We're being born with our mother planet. We're being born in our father's ecosystem. Us as the child, we're being born as integrated light beings. That's the job that we're doing. I haven't had the awareness that we're becoming integrated light beings, but I've had the deep feeling that this is the age of epic transformation and being born into something new, something that is far more unified. Before I had the term integration, I had the term unity and unified. So that still holds true, because it's about everything becoming unified and integrated. We've been in an age and ages where everything has been the opposite of that. Everything has been fragmented and separated. Fragmented and separated out. For the purpose of experiencing duality, and so all the sides, all the different aspects of duality can get to know each other, and so we can really know who we are as fractals, as embodiments of the universe. Because you can't know who you are if you don't know who you are not. Here. And so we've been on a journey as peoples, living and experiencing these sides of duality. Everything that we are not and everything that we are. Does that make sense? You need both. Basically, we've been on a journey of forgetfulness, really massive amnesia, because we've had to forget. We've had to forget, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to go on this journey of separation, which has been really a total endurance test, absolutely. Very painful, and wow, the separation has been so epic. It has, as we know, it really has. Wow. And we, without the forgetfulness, we wouldn't have been able to accept that level of separation. We wouldn't be able to accept it, not being able to see the other in ourselves, really seeing the other as separate. We would not have been able to have accept that without the amnesia and the forgetfulness. And we're in a time now where that is shifting, and the amnesia, the veil, is lifting, it's thinning, the veil is thinning, and we are remembering more of our true nature and becoming these integrated, unified, universal light beings. Homo luminous, so beings of light. I always emphasize, integrated light, because it's light it's the nature of the universe. It's the true light of the universe that holds all of the experience as one. There's no duality. There's not the evil's over there and the good is over here, and you're either in one or the other. True integrated light has integrated that dialectic and that duality into wholeness. So it has accepted playing the role as the victim and the perpetrator at the same time as one. It's said that is no mean feat. Because but it's about accepting that. It's about remembering that beyond the duality of good and evil, there really just is life complete, the universe complete. And that's the journey that I know, and I'm certainly experiencing that us as a peoples are on. We're in my world, in my experience, we're not meant to just perpetual war and separation. That is not what we're about. We're about becoming whole and being born as these new integrated beings of light, true light. But we have to face ourselves, and we have to accept all of our aspects. We have to accept the fact that we have been good, bad, and everything in between, and it's all us. And that is a major challenge. Ooh, it definitely is. Certainly a challenge for me, because I spend a lot of time and have spent a lot of time integrating evil aspects into my being. Integrating, forgiving, loving, remembering, accepting. Healing, transforming, doing the work, doing the internal work to bring these aspects home. Because I've been on a massive, I've been on, a huge, epic, universal journey where I have incarnate as loads of different things and had all of these experiences. And in this fractal being that I am, I'm bringing those experiences home into this. It's amazing. Bringing them home into this. I am the seed. I'm the seed of what will become. So as we evolve and grow, we will change. In times, we will. For me, this is the seed version, and we are beginning to. Well, it's been happening for a long time, but it can feel like beginning to crack open, and for that light to not only come in from outside, from the galaxy, from the cosmos, from the universe, not only coming in like that, but like our light is coming out. That is what's cracking and opening up the seed, the fractal, to grow. I like to feel it like that, like a seed in the ground, and it's sprouting. It's got to take that journey, got to be planted first, and then it's got to take that journey to get beyond the soil, peek out into the light, create a shoot, and start to grow. We're doing that. We're doing that. A version of that, growing and becoming. And that, for me, that's what it involves. It involves facing ourselves. Okay, so how it works when sort of recording these videos is, so far with this one, I haven't planned it. Just, it's a feeling and an energy that arrives, and literally larger parts of my being asks me to talk. Which sounds, natural and elegant and graceful, and it is. It is. If the smaller part of me, it doesn't put up too much resistance, because the hard bit, right? This is where the accepting responsibility as a starseed comes in, because it's being able to deal with the resistance that comes up when greater parts of my being, my soul, wants to communicate, wants to come out through me. It can't come out through me if I'm in conflict. If I'm going like, no, oh, and I'm like going, the light's trying to come out and I'm going, no, get back in. The light's going here, it's like, no, oh. And then the narratives are going all over the place, like, doubt, fear, or distraction, or, yeah, exactly, task. What about this task? Oh no, you should do that first. You should, all these things, all these different types of resistance and all the emotional resistance. It's like getting pulled in all these different ways. It's like, wow. And but at the same time, the light of my greater being, one's greater being, simply, and it is elegantly and gracefully asking to be present. And in me having to trust that. Trust is the key. Trust and letting go, allowing. If I tried to question and force every breath I took, I would be a jittery mess. I would be all over the place. But if I just trust and allow, the breathing to happen, it's got grace and elegance. And that's what it's like with my soul, my greater being, wanting to communicate through me. But, it's challenging because my personality, and my cognition, my level of maturity, spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, mental maturity, gets challenged. And the wounds come into play, because then I found in life that a lot of the looping, and they do loop, a lot of the looping negative distorted narratives that have gone on in my being, in my mind, and in my whole being, are attached to wounds and traumatic experiences. And if I'm not addressing those wounds and traumatic experiences and making them whole, then they loop in narratives, going round and round and round. And the danger with that is, because we live in a multi-layered matrix control structure, that's only one bit of where we live. Nature holds that. But like we've been walking through the labyrinth, the multi-dimensional labyrinth matrix control structure, where its job is to subjugate us and try and keep us from remembering who we truly are, and to try and prevent us from expressing our natural light. It does a fantastic job at holding the status quo in place. And allowing all these beings to accept that status quo and to go along with it and allow themselves to be subjugated, allow the authority and responsibility to be outside, because that's how it works. If you're not taking personal responsibility for yourself, and if you're not reclaiming and becoming your own sovereign self, well, you're not doing that, are you? And if you're not doing that, what are you doing? And if you're constantly giving your power away to whatever it might be, narratives, any narratives, family narratives, societal narratives, to external authoritative figures. So whatever that is, institutions, work environments, religious authorities, off-world organisations, any external authority. If we're giving our power away, and we're basically saying we're not capable of being responsible for ourselves. Like if I'm saying that, I'm saying I'm not capable and I'm not willing to take responsibility for my existence right here, right now. And I would rather have somebody else take that responsibility, and I will continue to play in a level of ignorance where I can play the victim and justify that it's unfair, whatever situation that, it's you end up playing the victim and thinking that things are unfair, that you've been done wrong. When you're giving your power away, because then you have the capacity to say, well, it's not my fault, it's the external authority's fault or whoever's fault. But when you're actually taking responsibility, and living that and becoming sovereign, then you only have yourself to look at. You've only got yourself to I can't think of the word there, but you know what I mean. It's all on you. It's all on you. You can't blame and point the finger. You can't do that, because you're in charge of your creational experience. And so for me, accepting responsibility as a starseed is about this. It's about accepting my responsibility to share my light, and to be my light. First got to be it. No, and that's just gonna. I work very hard on my being, my inner workings. Work very hard on bringing my aspects home, and one of the biggest challenges I've had has been the victim, and it's been really, so the pointing the finger, blaming that way. It was somebody shared this at some point over the years. I think it might have been David Icke. Maybe it was David Icke. I remember him saying, look, whenever you're pointing the finger, anyway, whenever you're pointing the finger out, you're blaming somebody else. You've got one finger's pointing that way, blaming the thing that you're saying, oh, it's your fault. And at the same time, you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. You're pointing that way, you've got 3 fingers pointing back at yourself. and I have definitely found that to be true. So I've got joy in this moment. I've got joy, and just want to share this, because sometimes, come on camera and basically, for me, you just have to go with the energy. And where it wants to go. And sometimes it might be upset, and it's like, it's really challenging. It's like, do I really want to be on camera just now? It's like, my small self is like, no. But the bigger part of me is like, look, you need to address whatever this is, and if that involves having to feeling being exposed and vulnerable because you're putting it on a camera and then you're putting this on the internet and for people to see, if that's what it takes to break this open, then that's what you're going to do, says my greater being. And my small self's like, no. But I'm a bit harsh on my small self there. My small self actually does it. Is doing it more and more and more. So, what else am I going to say there? I'm almost done. So I guess, I felt like when I was going to talk about this topic, it was going to be all like charged with like power and doing this and doing that. But actually, as I'm discovering, as I'm recording this, it's about embracing my light. It's about embracing my light that is emerging through me and allowing that grace to emerge. It's been hard in the environment of the spiritual arena online and the truth movement, in these kind of movements, because often it can seem like come across kind of all these kind of seem like experts and specialists and this and that and on, and it can seem, for me, it can feel like, whoa, you're out your depth. As again, this is a small self. Out of your depth. It's like, I don't know as much as that being. I don't know as much as this, and I'm not connected to that race. I'm not aware of that, and things like that. And but it's about accepting our unique individual gifts, our individual light. Because as Starseeds, we all have our own light that we want to share into the space, into the reality here. We all share the same feeling, I would say, of wanting to help the evolutionary process with Mother Earth, Father Son, and their people. Humanity, emergent Homo luminous. We all want to help the evolutionary process. You can give it different names, different names. I just like to use the natural evolutionary process, and we do this by bringing our light and infusing it into reality. This is how we do it. And and we have to. I talk for myself. Had to overcome all the resistance and all the contracts. So the soul contracts and different things. I'm not giving the right details there. There's much more to it than that, and because actually addressing the soul contracts, because many of the obligations we have in regard to cultivating wisdom and sharing contracts with other beings, because it's all about working through the contracts, I've certainly found that very challenging, because so many relationships have had to change, and they've had to stand true and trust in the journey. I won't go into that too much just now, because I don't want this video to be too long, and I can feel that it's a different energy. You can maybe feel that would be a different energy, but it's part of the job is to get to a point where you have worked. This is what I'm finding, where I have worked my wounds enough to a stage, and I have integrated my different aspects into my being enough to get to that stage, and I have sort of balanced out my environment and dealt with karma and contracts that have had to be completed for me anyway, to get to a point where I can begin to share. And I'm only just beginning. It feels like lots of things, but and it might seem like, for me, I'm like, well, I come on here and then I say all this, and it's like, well, what am I really saying? It's like, what am I actually doing? But I know that I'm actually doing a lot. I'm enacting my purpose, and I know that I have to keep doing this. Because so I can play my role. I can play my role in this world as the emergent light that I am. That I'm remembering that I am. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to this, for considering what I've got to say, and it's, for me, it's all about coming home to ourselves and sharing who we truly are, and facing it all. Okay, so we'll leave it there, and thank you very much. See you soon. Cheers for now.